Let me turn this nonsense.
What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Levon Kaysen back again with another interview. And tonight's guest, you've seen him in many Xbox podcasts. He's been considered the Don King of Xbox. Please welcome Erok8150. What's up?
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Erok8150, the Don King of Xbox, the hype man for the Xbox brand, and the meanest man on Twitter. And it's good to be here on this channel helping out this young man who's just blowing up on YouTube, guys. Like his videos, rate and subscribe.
Mm-hmm. So how'd you find YouTube? Like, tell us your story. Like, how'd you find it?
Well, actually, I found YouTube by accident a couple of years ago, man. In 2008, I was just looking for some music videos and some old reruns of a science fiction classic called Red Dwarf. So that's how I discovered YouTube. I had no idea that you could upload videos, or I had no idea what YouTube channels were. But the actual YouTube channel had got started due to a friend of mine's named Kid Smooth. He actually got me out there, pushed me out that door, and got me started on my mission. He probably regrets it now, but he got me started on my mission.
Interesting. And what do you remember what your first video was, Yurok?
Oh my God, man. Whoo. I it, I don't even remember. It was early 2015. It might have been a video about Forza Motorsport 5. It's hard to remember. It's been a lot of videos, a lot of videos. Like you're going to have a lot of videos in a couple of years, man. You just got to keep pumping them out, pumping them out, pumping them out. But I really don't remember what my first video was.
Okay. Oh, so okay. When did you start gaming? Like, what was your first gaming system?
Oh my God, young man, we got to go back to the 1980s. The 1980s. See, I love it when the various fanboy factions try to tell you that you're not a gamer. I'm a little bit older. I'm a much older gamer, and I started gaming back in the 1980s, the early 1980s, on a system called the Atari 2600.
Oh,
That
really? Was it pixelated and yeah, like a whole bunch of pixels?
pixelated. There were no pixels at all. I mean, just I mean,
Use your imagination in those
you,
times, huh?
you had to really use your imagination. But I mean, back then we didn't know Levon Casey. We didn't understand about graphics and frame rate and all that stuff. We just played the games and we had fun. And it was a different era back then, an entirely different era. These gamers are spoiled now, man. They're spoiled.
Mm. Okay. And you just kept on going with the gaming thing with the Nintendo and like.
No, Mr. Casey. What had happened was the video game industry fell apart here in North America in 1983. I had actually bought the Atari 2600 and its successor, a console called the Atari 5200. And even back then, game consoles and cartridges, because they were on cartridges once, it had gotten kind of expensive. And when the video game crash of 1983 had happened, my parents said, "We ain't buying you no more consoles. You got to get your ass out there and get a job." So that's when I stopped gaming for 10 years. And I didn't return into gaming until 1993. So, Mr. Levon Case, and I had missed the NES. I had missed the Sega Master System. I had missed that entire period.
Have you heard about those systems though? Like,
I have heard about them, and there is a game historian called Hebot, the world's most powerful gamer, who actually had those consoles. He knows all about them. But I had heard that video gaming continued, and during the 80s, I was in and out of what we used to call arcades. You see, Mr. Case is kind of young, but back when I was a kid, we actually went to a building called an arcade and put quarters in this machine and actually played video games at an arcade around other people. So I had known about video gaming continuing. I just didn't buy any more consoles until 1993.
okay. So tell us your Xbox story, Yurok. Tell us the Xbox story.
Well, the Xbox story, how it began. My Xbox story actually begins in 2002. I was well entrenched in the PlayStation camp. See, here's what people don't understand. As I wage my mission to spread the Xbox message to every corner of creation, what these people do not understand is that every Xbox dude, every Xbot, every X drone or whatever you want to call us, we were once loyal PlayStation fans. And I had a PlayStation 2. 2001 to 2002 on the PlayStation 2 was incredible. And so as I was enjoying my PlayStation 2 in 2002 with games like Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and many, many more, Grand Theft Auto 3, as I was enjoying all those great games, I had heard of a console called the Xbox, and I laughed driving on the way home from a computer place called Micro Center. A friend of mine was like, Erok, what do you think about Bill Gates' console, the Xbox? I laughed in his face. I said, nobody's going to buy the Xbox. Nobody trusts Bill Gates. Nobody want no computer as a console. A year later, I was buying the Xbox because I had saw a game called BC and a game that wasn't coming out yet called Fable from a studio called Lionhead. And I said, man, I've got to get me one of those Xboxes. The next thing you know, Mr. Kaysen, I was at a game store buying the Xbox, and that's how it all began.
Okay. And you just been enjoying yourself with the Xbox brand ever since, or are you still dabbling to other consoles here and there?
Well, I had always been a multiple console owner. I had the PlayStation 2, I had the Xbox, I had the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, but the Xbox had just won me over with that original console. And here we are today. I am a single console owner. I'm just an Xbox guy. That is by choice. That is by choice. I just like the products. I like the services. And that's why I decided to create this outrageous character and become the hype man for the Xbox brand.
Now, what do you think of people like Next Gen 720, Crap Gamers, the mooches in the Xbox community? Do you think that they give a bad rap to the Xbox community on YouTube?
You know, I've heard that before from a lot of people, and mostly a lot of haters saying that, those are the big names in the Xbox community and that these guys give a bad name to the Xbox community. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think that long before I started my YouTube channel and long before anybody heard of those guys in 2013, this war between Xbox and PlayStation, this console war has been going on for decades. It went on between Nintendo and Sega Genesis. It's been going on forever. So I look at Crap Gamer, Next Gen 720, and the Mooch as being fans, as being ambassadors for their brand. And if people don't like it, that's tough. You got plenty of ambassadors for PlayStation, plenty of pro PlayStation channels. Hell, the media themselves is an ambassador for PlayStation. I'm talking IGN. I'm talking N4G. Hell, I'm talking Digital Foundry. So why shouldn't the Crap Gamer, Next Gen 720, and Mooch do their thing? If it wasn't for IGN and N4G not reporting the proper information, there would have never been a Crap Gamer. There would have never been a Mooch. There would have never been a Next Gen 720. And sadly now, you got Erok8150 spreading his gospel out here, all because you, the media, didn't want to tell the truth, Mr. Kaysen. I know you weren't expecting this, son, but this is how it goes.
This is how it goes in these gaming streets, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was it like doing WeGameHere.com? What was that experience like?
Well, I was never officially a member of We Game Here. I was going to write a couple of articles for We Game Here when Kid Smooth was he was a part of We Game Here. You know, I got no beef with the We Game Here guys. My beef with We Game Here actually stems from the actual Facebook site We Game Here. I found the moderators at We Game Here to be very preferential to the PlayStation posters. The PlayStation posters could post whatever misinformation, lies, clickbait, start fights, start false surveys. They could do whatever they want. But if you were an Xbox guy and you fought back, you were always wrong and you were always outnumbered. So there are people saying that you Xbox guys got kicked out of We Game Here. It's misinformation. It's misinformation and it's slander. There's a difference between getting kicked out and leaving. So I wish those guys over at We Game Here all the luck in the world. I knew some of those guys. Some of those guys are great, like Darian is King and several others. But in this YouTube streets and in these gaming streets, you're going to form partnerships and partnerships dissolve. That's the way it is. But the main thing is, Mr. Levon Kaysen, is you keep on moving. You keep on developing who you are as a YouTuber and as a personality, and you don't let anything stop you. You keep moving.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, what do you think of this gaming generation? Like, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you want to go back to the last generations of gaming? Like, tell me
Well,
your thoughts.
we can go back to the last generation. We got to keep moving forward. I think this gaming generation is more spoiled than any gaming generation we've ever seen. I think these gamers are spoiled. They have too much. We have these consoles that produce incredible graphics, and they want more, 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 more. And now we live in an age where the bosses of these companies are actually accessible. Some of them, you can actually talk to them and tweet them. And now these gamers want information from these guys. When are games coming out? What did you have for dinner? When did you have your last bowel movement? Listen, everybody needs to calm down and just get back to enjoying gaming. But these gamers are spoiled, Levon Case, and they want too much instead of just waiting and enjoying. And it's made the gaming community just hostile. It's a hostile environment now, and you gotta have tough skin. You gotta have tough skin because if you don't have tough skin, you'll be chased out. You'll quit. You'll burn out.
Huh. Okay. So, what are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch?
My thoughts on the Nintendo Switch are I was expecting a more powerful console. I was expecting Nintendo to really jump back into the console fray with a powerful console because Nintendo, prior to the Wii, was all about power. The Super NES, the
The
N64, the
GameCube.
GameCube, Nintendo was all about power. And it's shocking to me that they would continually put out these low powered consoles. Nintendo has a plan with whatever this blue ocean strategy or whatever the strategy is they have. Nintendo has a plan. They're banking on it working. They're hoping that they can catch lightning in a bottle again with this switch and the way it separates and the way
Think that they should go to Red Ocean?
well, I'm thinking what they should have did was they should have released a more powerful console because already third-party developers are saying, nope, we're not putting our games on your platform. You've already had Respawn say, nope, Titanfall ain't coming to the Switch. You've already had them.
Japanese support though.
Well, it's going to be kind of the thing about game developers, Mr. Kaysen, is they are obsessed with power. They love power. They love power. They love the new hardware. This is how it's always been. And Nintendo is going to once again have to support their system with their first party, and that's hard to do. You need third party.
So, what type of music do you listen to? Old school, the new school? Like, what type of music do you listen to?
Mr. Kaysen, I listen to all kinds of music. I was raised in the '70s on R&B, classic
Yeah,
rock and
Ronnie,
R&B,
Ronald, the Isley brothers,
the Isley Brothers, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin. I've also been raised on classic rock and roll, The Who, Billy Idol, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, classic rap in the '80s. I grew up as rap was blowing up. I'm talking LL Cool
NWA.
J, LL Cool J, Run DMC, Curtis Blow. We going back in the day now. We going back in the day now, young man. But also, my latest enjoyment the last 7 years has been dubstep and techno. To me, that's the new music. Those are the guys that are pushing the music industry forward. Those magicians with those electronic keyboards doing their thing.
Yeah, with them beats, the nice
Yes,
beats.
yes, yes.
Those next generation Dr. Dre's.
Indeed, indeed. Music has to evolve. Everything has to evolve. Gaming has to evolve. Movies has to evolve. If things don't evolve, Mr. Kaysen, they get stagnant. They get stale.
Yeah. Now, what would you consider as your first big break on YouTube? Like your first
Well,
that you're proud of, your first video that you ever been proud of, basically.
Well, like I said, actually, it was Kid Smooth. Kid Smooth, the best spot. He gave me an opportunity on the podcast was called Let's Talk Games, and it was sort of a just an open format where all kinds of gamers, PC guys, Xbox guys, PlayStation guys, was just locked into a room like on a Jerry Springer show, and we went at each other, just gladiator style. And so that's how I got my break. But the biggest thing I was proud of in my 3 years here on YouTube, everybody likes to talk crap about the low quality of my videos, about how they
Yeah.
how they hate my channel. But in the time I was on YouTube, there has been some work done, and the proudest moment I had was when Kid Smooth and myself had an opportunity to interview Abby Heppy, the community manager of Titanfall. That was a huge interview. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of just doing things behind the scenes and writing the show. And that's one of the things I'm very proud of.
Huh. Okay. Cool. What do you think of the black community?
The African American community,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, I think that the African American community has come a long way, but in our coming a long way, we've taken several steps backwards.
Mhm.
Okay, when I look at the African American community of where we were in the 1950s, the 1960s, and the 1970s, uh, just Black power actually meant something. The Black community actually meant something. I do believe that the Black community can still be strong. But Mr. Kaysen, I believe that the African American community is too distracted by Drake, distracted by music, distracted by sneakers, distracted by child support, distracted by hair weave and all kinds of foolishness instead of handling business. And what is the business that the African American community should be handling? Taking care of our own people, taking care of our own community, cleaning up these streets, getting our people off these drugs, getting education, and not waiting around for some black president or some white president or some savior to save us. You got to save yourself. You got to do it yourself. You got to put some hustle behind this muscle, or else you ain't going to go nowhere in this life. Do you hear me, Mr. Casey?
Yes, I do.
Do you hear the Don King of Xbox?
Yes, I do. Yes.
I've seen your videos, and you're one of the few young men I've seen who are awake. This young man is wide awake at 18 or 19. Black community, what's your excuse for not being awake?
I mean,
Explain yourself.
is it all white supremacy? Like I've been hearing like a lot of black folks saying it's white supremacy. It's white supremacy. White supremacy. White supremacy. They always blaming everything on white supremacy. I'm like, is it all white supremacy or is it half? I say it's half of it.
Yeah. So white supremacy made you go into that Korean hair store and buy $600 worth of hair weave. White supremacy made you go into the Nike store and buy a $120 pair of Nike shoes. White supremacy is making you stand on the corner with baggy pants and sell drugs. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, Mr. Kaysen. I don't believe it. Your parents and my parents came from a generation where we went out and worked and we hustled and we got what we want. And I don't believe it, man. I think the only thing that's holding black people back is black people.
See, the white supremacists had this system, had this way of where they manipulate the system to where it's only white people that's going to get work instead of black folks.
Well, yeah, and
I was just joking.
Well, yeah, it's a mindset. It's a mindset of thinking that something is holding you back. And as you know, Mr. Kaysen, we have black doctors, we have black entrepreneurs, we have black owners of major businesses. So I mean, you can achieve if you want to achieve. So it's a tough subject, man, but a bold subject for you to bring up. You need to be on Kid Smooth's new show, Apples and Oranges, where they talk about these subjects weekly.
I've watched this show a little bit before. Is it like every Friday or?
It's every Friday, and I haven't been able to make it the last couple of weeks. But you never know what's going to come out of their mouth on that show, man. They talk about all kinds of subjects.
Or is it on Skype?
Yeah, he does it. He doesn't do a Google Hangout. He does Skype. And as you know, doing a hangout with Skype is kind of difficult, but he's figured it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask them to add me and all that stuff later on. But
I
yeah,
will, I will do whatever I can to put in a word for you. I will do whatever I can to help put your channel over. I want to see you grow, man. I want to see you grow.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. Tell us about your upbringing a little bit. Like, what were you like in school? What were you like in college? And what did you want to be when you grow up? When you were coming up?
My upbringing here in West Philadelphia was pretty basic. Uh, uh, my mother taught me that if you want anything, you got to go out and work. You know the story. A single mother, working a job, raising kids. So we were taught to go out and get what you want. I really was one of those guys when I was in school. I was one of those dreamers. I was always drawing and just dreaming, and I was in love with science and science fiction. And after I graduated from high school, I went to an art school for a year, the Art Institute here in Philadelphia. That didn't work out. It wasn't until, my God, almost 8 years later that I finally did finish my education. I went back to college. I got a degree in art history and graphic design, and found out that Philadelphia is a bad area to want to be a graphic designer. That's a field that is blossoming in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. But I'd always wanted to do something in art. I'd always wanted to do something in production. I'd always wanted to do something where I could entertain. So that eventually led me to segue into the Philadelphia tourism industry, where I've been doing that for years. It's been very profitable. It's been very hard some years, but I enjoy what I do.
Mm, okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Somewhere my enemies are dissecting this video. They dissecting this video, and they're gonna find some way to use it against me. But I love it. Bring it, bring it.
You're very funny.
Mr. Casey, as your channel grows, you're going to get haters. You're going to get haters. You got to
Well,
keep pushing. You got to keep pushing.
yeah, of course. Of course. Do you watch Tommy Sotomayor or no?
I've been watching Tommy Sotomayor's videos for a while. I didn't know he was a conservative, but I enjoy his videos because he's straightforward and he tells the black community that 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 inconvenient truth that they don't want to hear. He shines a light on the shenanigans and the foolishness that goes on in the black community, and they hate him for it. And I'm glad he's out there speaking the truth. And even though you don't agree with all his videos, he shines a light on the foolishness that goes on out here in the black community.
Mm, okay. Okay. Um. What was your favorite TV show when you were a kid?
My favorite TV show when I was a kid was always Star Trek, the original Star Trek. Man, that Captain Kirk, that dude had swagger. Who else could fight a dude at 4 a.m. in the morning and then pull a green chick at 6 o'clock that night? Captain Kirk was the greatest. He still is. He always will be.
Mm, okay. Now,
Ask away, son. We asked them faster back in 1986. Come on, bring it.
oh, okay. I'm trying to think of a question. A question. What games are you looking forward to for 2017?
For 2017, I'm looking forward to Crackdown 3. It's been a long time waiting. Crackdown 3 is an Xbox Scorpio or Xbox One exclusive. If this thing is really what they're saying it's going to be spectacular. People usually assume that the next generation is all about graphics, and usually that's the truth. But to me, the next generation means moving things forward, new ways to play online, destructibility, new ways to play. And Crackdown 3 looks to me to be a true next generation experience. I can't wait for that. I'm excited about Forza Motorsports 7, the main Forza Motorsports series. I wasn't a fan of Forza Motorsports 6, but Forza Motorsports 7 is going to be on the Xbox Scorpio running in 4K, 60 frames per second. That's going to be a sight to behold. We've been waiting forever for this indie game called Cuphead that looks like an old Disney cartoon. I'm excited about that. And so those are the games I'm really looking forward to, and whatever other surprises Phil Spencer has planned for us. Since I'm not a PlayStation gamer, I can't name any of those games.
Okay. Now, who are your favorite YouTubers that you watch that you admire?
My favorite YouTubers that I watch and admire. See, there's so many of us out there, and the great thing about YouTube is that not everybody has to do the same thing. When I started in YouTube, uh, I first started watching, and I'm going back to 2011. The first guy that I took notice of was a gentleman named Solid Rev. Solid Rev just films videos with a webcam out of his living room. I liked Solid Rev. I liked his demeanor. I liked his candor. I liked the way he talked to the audience. Eventually, I discovered the guys from BGST. Uh, I discovered Kid Smooth. But lately, my favorite YouTubers have been the smaller YouTubers, the guys you don't hear about, and the guys you never hear about, the guys that don't get any acclaim. I'm talking about guys like NWO Prime, that man who wears the Optimus Prime mask from North Carolina and tells it like it is. I'm talking about Kenny Thomas, 1983, who always keeps us down with the news. I'm talking about Sega Forever, the young man from Hawaii who he knows all about Sega. He can tell you all about the blueprints, all about the consoles. I'm talking about Hebot, the world's most powerful gamer, a video game historian. No one has the knowledge about gaming that this man has. I'm talking about Microbox of X. We never know when we're gonna see him. He comes and he goes. He disappears sometimes, but he's a fantastic YouTuber. And of course, my new favorite is my partner on the Dragon X podcast, a young man from Great Britain called the Welsh Gamer, B Drew 1111. These are my favorite YouTubers. These are the guys I enjoy watching. And there's so many, Mr. Casey, because we're all so different. Not everybody can do the same thing. Not everybody can do the same thing. Everybody got to follow their own twist. Some guy does news, one guy does gameplay, another guy's channel, like my channel, is straight comedy, straight satire. We all got to follow our own thing. We all can't do the same thing, man. We all can't. Somebody got to be different. And all of these guys are different. I enjoy them all. I love them all. I enjoy them all. The Xbox community, we're all brothers. We look after each other. We take care of each other. If somebody needs a game, we look out for them. If somebody needs some help, we look out for them. Unlike the PlayStation community that likes to talk a lot of trash, we help each other in the Xbox community. That's how we do.
Okay. Okay.
I know that was a mouth. I know I just ejaculated a mouthful, but I had to get it out there, brother.
Yeah, I know. Express yourself. Express yourself.
But there's a lot of great YouTubers out there. These smaller YouTubers, Mr. Kaysen, like yourself, who get no recognition. And I'm praying that soon you guys get the recognition that you deserve.
Trying to make it to 100,000 views. That's what I'm trying to do.
Hey, and 100,000 subs. If these girls can do it for taking their top off, we should be able to do it by using our brains.
What you think of some of the bigger YouTubers in the community, like the Hard Eight Times, the Broken Games HD, the Black Bonds? Like, what do you think of those guys?
I've seen him. I got to give a lot of respect to BG Games, Broken Games HD. I mean, he built his brand the hard way, and you respect anybody that built their brand the hard way. This guy actually gets invited to pressings and E3 events, and he gets games sent to him, and you can't hate on that. What you hate is these YouTube bullies, and I'm not going to name names, but you hate these YouTube bullies who go around and try to bully other people in the community. That I don't like. That I don't understand or respect. You got a lot of guys going out here calling other YouTubers corporate slaves when they themselves are corporate slaves. You know, it's a thin line between being an entertainer and a YouTuber, and a thin line between just being a bully. And some of these guys you mentioned are bullies, and that's as far as I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
I know it's tough, Mr. Kaysen, but how we used to do it on the Let's Talk Games podcast when we interviewed developers is we wrote the show first. I know it's distracted, but trust me, if I could give you any advice, you start writing your shows it'll come off smoother. And that's not me criticizing you. That's me wanting to see you,
Um,
Levon Casey could be the next. You could be the Walter Cronkite of gaming. This is you, man. I want to see you succeed. You know why? I'm impressed by your videos. I'm
yeah,
impressed by how you just
thank
tell the
you.
world how you feel, man. You
Yeah,
to me are going to be the next YouTube star, man. And we need to get behind you. And I want to support you any way I can, brother.
thank you, thank you. I'm trying to think of questions. That's what I'm trying to think. What are your thoughts on the technology, like iPhones, iPhone 7, stuff like that? It's evolving, it's evolving, it's evolving. Like, what are your thoughts on the quickness of technology?
My thoughts on the quickness of technology, Levon Casey, is that technology is advancing faster than human knowledge.
Yeah,
Technology is advancing faster than our brains. People tweet faster than they think. People text faster than they think. People, we're spoiled. There's too much technology. And I'm hoping, I don't want to see it, but a day is going to come when our technology is going to be taken away from us. And people are going to have to communicate like we used to, one on one, like humans. And we're not going to have these machines to talk for us. You know, a lot of keyboard warriors were born because of this technology. People are on the internet saying things that they would never say to another man in person, especially out here in the streets. So I reiterate, technology has moved way faster than people's brains, and that's a bad thing, Mr. Kaysen.
hold on, keep talking. I think someone's knocking on the door.
It's a terrible thing. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's Erok8150, the Don King of Xbox. My mission is to form a coalition for one purpose: the end of the Sony PlayStation fanboys. I've already got 6 signatures, and by the time this interrogation by Levon Cation is over, I expect to have his signature too. But anyway, uh, so much excitement is going on in the gaming community. If you follow the gaming community, we got a new console coming out this year, the Xbox Scorpio. We got new games coming out this year, and it's an exciting year to be an Xbox gamer. At E3 2017, Phil Spencer's going to take power. He's going to take that stage. He's going to take that stage with a tight sweater on, because he's always wearing tight shirts and tight
He's
sweaters,
gonna.
and he's going to just take
Okay.
power. But
Uh-huh.
go on, man. You're back.
What are your thoughts on the schooling of today? Today's schooling, like, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, there's 3 different school systems, Mr. Kaysen. There's a school system for young white America. There's a school system for Asian America and Latino America, and there's a school system for Black America. And the school system for Black America has been failing Black Americans. I don't feel as though that the schools in the Black community are doing half of what they should be doing to get our children ready. And I discovered this when I went to college back in the late 90s. I met kids from Mexico. I met kids from Israel. I met kids from other countries who were way ahead in mathematics than their American counterparts. I
About
met
reading.
reading. I met kids that had already been computer literate. So I believe that the educational system is different for every race here in America, and that's got to be fixed. That's not me. That's not my opinion. That's facts.
Mm. Okay.
Who came to
Okay.
the door? The pizza delivery man?
What is your prediction for E3 of this year?
My prediction for E3 is, like I said, Phil Spencer will take power. He will go on stage that Sunday, June 17th. He'll present the Xbox Scorpio, the most powerful console ever, past, present, or presumed. He's going to show games. He's going to shut up his haters. He's going to come out in a tight Scorpio t-shirt, and he's going to lay down the law. Finally, Microsoft will have a day to themselves to shine. And I'm sure the other companies, Sony and Nintendo, will have some great things to show us. But I'm looking forward to Microsoft's E3. This is the make or break E3, but we have a new console coming this November. Essentially a new generation. That's how powerful this thing is, and I'm excited about it.
The new generation already started, and yet the 8th generation. Wow.
Like you said, the
It's
technology.
weird.
We can't stop it. The genie's out of the bottle. We can't stop it. Somebody had to fire the shot first. I was thinking it was going to be Nintendo, but we got the Switch.
The idea is ninth gen.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's and that's the crazy thing about it. The Nintendo Switch is technically a ninth generation console. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
technically a ninth generation console. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe Nintendo will make all of us haters seem foolish. But I remember Nintendo's glory days back in the SNES days, and the GameCube. Even that was glorious. You know, the Wii back in 2006, 2007. Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, The View, the soccer moms, they put that console over. You know, people aren't that gullible these days, Nintendo. So you got to bring it. So we'll see. We'll see, Mr. Kaysen.
Mm. Hey, they could have some secret stuff like the supplemental computing device.
They could. I mean, and maybe this new Zelda game, the gameplay will be all of that. Who knows? Who knows? That's the beautiful thing about gaming is we don't know. We just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Who knew that Sony was going to make the remarkable comeback they made? We don't know what's going to happen, and that's what makes gaming exciting.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's probably like no viewer watching this. All right. How would you like to shout yourself out? Like, where can find you?
This is Erok8150, the Don King of Xbox. You could find me on Twitter at Erok8150. Also, go to the YouTube channel. I'm sure Levon Casey will leave a link in the description. But more importantly, continue to support this young man's channel. Continue to help put him over. We need to support the small YouTubers. I'm a small YouTuber. The gentleman I mentioned earlier are small YouTubers. And these are guys that have sub under 1,000 subs. You help these guys out, help them grow, you know, help us keep pushing, help Levon Kaysen keep pushing. And as always, Erok8150, it's been an honor to be here. Thankful for this young man. I want to see him grow. And as usual, bye bye.
Yeah. See you guys later. Peace, rate, comment, subscribe to Erox 8150's channel. Subscribe to my channel. See you guys later. Peace.